Here is our beloved Cardano. I think we've been through this quite a few times over the last few weeks, and if you're finding it hard to stomach some of the titles and the price action on ADA, and you're looking to bow out, especially when the price is down and other cryptos have already pumped, I'm afraid you're not going to make it. Now, I'm not telling you to stay in ADA. I'm not telling you to sell it and go somewhere else. I'm just saying if you chase pumps, you are definitely not going to make it. And if you feel emotional about titles with worse crypto performance in Q4, then I think you're not going to make it either. So you guys that understand and the ones who are going to make it, let me know. Hit that like button. Balance out the dislikes from the guys who are finding a little FUD in the titles. Let's crack on with Cardano today. After you've hit the like button, balance out those ratios. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, stake your ADA with the TIA staking pool. You can find a link to it in the description down below. Go ahead and click on this video. After this video ends, I'll leave a link to it. And of course, you can find the TIA pool ID for delegation. Let's look at ADA at this point in time. And I'm saying it's the worst crypto in this quarter so far in the majors, of course, because I'm looking at a monthly chart. We have another 8 days, 22 hours, so call it 9 days at this point in time, before ADA closes the month of November, which leaves us one more month, being December, and we have been down, or at least closed in the red, since September. So the last month we had green was August, we had September down, October down, November down. So why I said at the beginning of the video, a lot of people love to sell out of crypto projects when they're on the way down. I saw comments from people say, I'm getting a little bit nervous. I am worried that nothing's going on here and I'm just wanting to get into something else. That's all well and good. If you want to get into something else, by all means, go and do that. I'm not saying to stay with ADA. I'm not a fanboy of ADA, although I do wear the t-shirt here. It's about making gains and having a different perspective on each section of your portfolio. One of your portfolios might be for trading. Another part of your portfolio might be for longer term investing. And when you're longer term investing, these things do have down periods. We've been down for 3 straight months. We have now broken through the short term 50% level, which is essentially similar to your moving average. So if you break down from your support zone, then you're probably going to come back and test the next zone. And this is at around $1.50 to $1.60. Now, if we break down from that, our next 50% zone is at $1.26. Hold the line. I'm not saying that we're going to get there. I always see those sort of comments saying, you said it's going to go to this price. No. Hold on. We got to get to the support level first and test the next level around that $1.50, $1.60. And it's not too far from where we are at the moment at $1.80. So it was about time we did a Cardano update and figure out where the price is when it comes to support levels. What could we expect next? When is it going to turn? What's happening? The main thing that comes back to with the fundamentals, and this comes down to the management of it by Charles Hoskinson. So don't blame it on the charts, blame it on the project itself. But at the end of the day, it's technology. It takes time. The smart contracts are not working at this point in time. They're not speaking. We're waiting for the back end to come out so that projects can build on Cardano. I think they released smart contracts way too early just to prove a point. And unfortunately, that is now affecting the price. So we ran up into the smart contracts and now smart contract release, and now we are falling against that price range at the moment. So there are still some support levels. We have $1.26, we have $1.50 to $1.60, and currently sitting at that $1.80, which comes in at the close of May. So May closed at $1.73. So we're starting to get into that congestion period after the 1 month of August, the big blow off, and then we came back. September, October, November, not looking too bad at the moment. ADA, BTC, also on the way down the last 2 months. November is the 3rd month now, which is currently in the red, but maybe it holds out here. It has broken down the 50% level, and like we've looked at a few times before, the next supports are around 2,000 and 2,500 Satoshis. So essentially, if we want to make it, we've got to be looking for these lower periods. We've got to be looking at projects which are coming down in price or are looking to base out and get into them when no one's talking about it. When people hate it, you see it in the comments. People are hating on it. It is what it is, right? I don't want to get emotional about it. I just want to buy some more when the price is down and looking like it is having a reversal. I don't need to get the exact low and I don't need to sell the exact top. But this is on my longer term strategy as well. And currently looking at the price range, it needed to have some correction. It has been up against Bitcoin, it's been up against Ethereum, it's been up against the US dollar since pretty heavily, strongly, from December 2020. And of course, it's been up since mid 2019. You can see the higher lows coming in. We throw it onto log. You got a low in August 2019, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we've seen that all the way up into September. So eventually we have to put in another higher low, and that's going to be ideally above the 500 Satoshis. So provided our crypto holds out and starts to be range bound, at least start to bounce, get higher lows on the way up, then it's a good investment longer term than holding something that is just completely bleeding out against Bitcoin and Ethereum. Speaking of which, we'll get on to ADA ETH, but I'll mention first up, because there are some people who are now looking to stake their ADA in their superannuation funds. Check out New Brighton Capital. This is for the Aussies. If you want to buy cryptocurrency with your superannuation, your retirement funds, link in the description. Use Pazino for $150 of free credit when you go through the process of completing your SMSF application. So you can stake your ADA in your superannuation funds. All right, back over to ADA ETH. And again, this has had a pretty good run this year, but is now coming back down to rest on the support levels of around the 40, or we can see 4,000 here, 0.0004 of an ETH. Now it did have an awesome January, awesome February, came back down, bounced again, and it's topped out in August, so at a lower high. So provided we start to get this wedge pattern forming here and continue to hold above that 0.0004, so 3 zeros and a 4, then it looks like this is still a good investment compared to something like ETH. Now, of course, ETH is strong at the moment, so maybe we do slip back into the zone of 0.00019 and 0.0004. In that case, maybe all that hard work was not worth it in the end of the day, and we could have just bought up some ETH. This is, of course, your Hopium free channel, so we want to look at our investments objectively, and if this does bounce or drop back down into the zone, then of course we would say ETH and Cardano are similar sorts of investments. If it continues to bounce here, then it's the same thing. You know, the idea here is that you want to see ADA continue to make higher lows and start to outpace Ethereum for gains. I think that'll happen eventually, maybe when we hit that next point where they bring out the smart contracts and it actually works, and then we start to get some more hype into the market, and we see these lows get higher and the highs get higher for ADA ETH. ADA DOT's also another good one to look at, because we've seen DOT really push up strongly here, and of course Cardano fall, and we're just starting to find some support at the highs that ADA DOT put in previously. So this is just comparing the price of ADA and DOT, and we're seeing some support, a little bit of a bounce back. We ideally want to start to see it get above the 0.053 or 54, and then again back to the 50% level. But at the moment, we're still putting in higher lows. So ADA DOT still holding out right here, but it just hasn't been, like a great holder since that August top ADA versus DOT. Same deal goes for Solana. This one's a little more depressing. Solana has been a much better performer since January of this year. So this was the peak out for ADA, September 2020 into the peak, and then Solana has just absolutely ripped away the gains. So this is why it's important not to be a fanboy, not to be a maxi. It's important to have a balanced portfolio for some of the strong cryptocurrencies so that you're not getting caught out holding one thing while everything else is taking off in the market. So at the moment, ADA BTC is probably the strongest out of the pairs. ADA ETH looking like it's coming back into the buy zone. ADA DOT maybe having a bit of a bounce here at a higher low, so that's still strong. ADA Sol is still down. This is still a bearish trend here. Just before we recap the ADA USD pricing for buy zones and sell zones, make sure you check out the Patreon link down below. There are limited places at the moment, so link is down there to learn a bit more about trading and investing in cryptocurrencies, and of course your long-term full-time investment strategy. Check that out, and of course follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Use the official links. They're in the description down below. Don't get caught out by these scammers DMing you about some sort of ridiculous scam. I only have one official link. Links are in the description. So the price at the moment, we are coming back down to test those levels as we currently see around that $1.80. So if you want to make it, start to look at projects which are flatlining they're coming down, they still have good possibilities in the future, and you're able to buy these things when there isn't the hype in the market. Remember that the amount of hype that came in through August and into September, there was a lot of hope as we dropped into that early part of September that we could push back out to $3.54 at that point, and then the hope is quickly fading away. So in terms of a time frame, we are getting late into the downtrend, just like we do with uptrends. Uptrends last a particular amount of time, downtrends also last a particular amount of time. And this has been one of the longest ones we've seen in this bull market. So we definitely want to see it hold up around that 150 to 160 level and then start to put in those higher lows. So we'll keep following that up on the channel as well. Stake your ADA with the TIA staking pool. In the meantime, for passive income, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.